What's your best truth or dare gone wrong moment? In 6th grade before English class, my friends were playing spin the pencil truth or dare and coming up with stuff that could be done in class. The pencil landed on a girl as she was coming into class and they dared her to kiss me. She said she'd rather kiss the floor. She actually kissed the floor. Friend and I are home from college getting drunk. 16-year-old sister walks in with her girlfriends who want us to play truth or dare. Friend and I agree as we are already intoxicated. Not even 3 dares in, one of the girls is dared to kiss my friend. He gets up and walks out of the room exclaiming, "I will not go to jail." College dorm drinking and playing truth or dare. One guy in the room picks truth, was asked what age and how he lost his virginity. Turns out he was forced to have sex at 11 or 12 by his older siblings. Room went real quiet after that. Edit. To clarify, it was rape. But his siblings made him get raped by a third party person. No incest. This reminds me. I was playing Never Have I Ever with a large group of people I didn't know very well. It's been many rotations around the group, so I'm out of boring stuff. I say never have I ever killed anybody. One guy put a finger down. Turns out he had accidentally killed his friend playing in a construction site many years ago. Girl picked truth. Her BF asked who was the best fuck she ever had. She named his brother. She was drunk and told the truth, but he was super pissed. We got to watch the whole thing. Turns out it was before she was dating him, but he was still upset. He's a moron. Only 2 answers for that. Him or someone else. That's not a gamble most guys should take. He was drunk, probably feeling cocky and wanting everyone to know how good he was at sex. That's a gamble most of us will lose. Maybe try asking, what was the most okay sex you have had with an emotionally stable, but slightly vanilla guy? Senior year in high school. Was dared to kiss the girl I had a crush on. She was a very shy person to begin with and her friends totally set the whole thing up to get us together because she liked me a lot. Go in to kiss her and she blushes furiously, farts loudly, and then scrambles to her feet and runs away crying. I laughed so hard at this poor thing. We felt terrible. After the first 2 dares I knew exactly what her friends were doing and I was on board, but she had no idea what was coming. Nobody meant for it to be an embarrassing moment for her. Did it have a happy ending? Well, her friends went off and chased her down. After a lot of coaxing, they brought her back and we just sat around telling each other stories. I drove her home that night. When we got to her place, her parents were asleep so I walked her to her back door, and that's when she turned to me, red as a beet, and leaned up and kissed me. It was sweet and wonderful and she made me very happy. We dated for about 2 years but after I moved away, military, the distance put too much of a strain on the relationship. I guess we could have tried harder to work things out, but I'm just happy to have been with her at all. She was absolutely wonderful, and I hope that she is leading a truly happy life. She deserves all the happiness in the world. In uni, T&D and my buddy gets dared to streak across the grounds at the student housing. Middle of winter so, more than just propriety at stake here, we all supported a footwear caveat, so not completely naked. Shitty little balcony attached to the apartment we were drinking in. He strips down, slides open the balcony door, on the 2nd floor, to hop the rail onto the ground and go for his dash. As he's going over quickly he pauses sitting on the rail, facing where he was going to make a short jump to the ground. His nuts and area around his perineum froze to the metal rail he was sitting on. Someone laughing said push him, but before anyone could he screamed, like a girl, no, and no one did. Fortunately he didn't jump and rip the fucking skin from his nuts and area. We filled a KFC bucket with warm water and poured it into his lap so it would run down to the contact area and he came loose. Everyone decided he was good on the dare anyway. I still cringe thinking if, in that split second, someone would have pushed him, or he lost his balance, it was a bit precarious. Post-mortem discussion was that he was a bit sweaty down there before he stripped. His hands had some damage too, but hey, Who gives a shit about hands when your nuts are froze to a balcony rail? During a drinking game of truth and dare with a bunch of friends, the shortest most timid girl of our group was dared to eat yogurt from the fattest guy's belly button in our group. After about a minute of convincing, she went for it and immediately started puking all over the guy. I was 10 years old, hanging out with my brother and his friend. A random truth or dare session came about, and I thought it would be fun to join in. When it was my turn I picked dare and my brother's friend told me to spray cinnamon spray on my ass. Like right to the hole, and I did. Dropped pants, squatted and sprayed. I remember the moment it started to burn. To this day I tense up. I ran around the house looking like Zoidberg until the pain stopped. Back in college we were pro-gaming at my friend's apartment playing truth or dare Jenga. I pulled a brick that said to do a lap around the outside of the building naked. Easy enough, but it was the middle of winter so I slipped and fell on some ice and ended up breaking my ankle. Young, like 11 or 12, playing truth or dare with my friends outside at my house. One friend dares me to piss in the bird bath which was in plain sight of where my parents and neighbors could see. I do it, he thinks it's funny. Next time it comes around to him he chooses dare. Other friend dares him to drink the water in the bird bath. That went wrong on him quick. A group of 7 of us, 4 girls and 3 guys are in our college dorm's communal area. We're playing and drinking and it started out pretty tame. Most people were picking truth and the dares were things like take a shot or text an ex. Then things took a turn. One of the girls, let's call her Ashley, asks for dare. And one of the guys, call him Bill, says I dare you to suck my dick and let me come on your face. Everyone just kind of awkwardly chuckles and tries to laugh it off. Then without warning Bill whips out his erect penis. Everyone flipped out and yelled at asking WTF he was doing. He kind of laughed it off and then we all just kind of dispersed to our rooms. A few months later Bill got kicked out of school for raping a different girl. Middle school. Buddy was dared to go into closet and kiss this girl. Long time goes by so we check on them. He was so nervous he pissed himself and they were trying to clean up the mess with the clothes that were hanging up. Truth or dare at a friend's house after graduating high school. Everyone was drinking and truth or dare popped up. One of the lads was particularly mad enough to pretty much do whatever we suggested even when sober. The bottle lands on him and someone says, dare you to skinny dip in the pool. Within a flash, he is out of his clothes and running towards the pool. He jumps and overshoots it by so fucking much that he goes stomach first into the diving board. Maybe he was holding in the burgers we ate. Maybe the alcohol had loosened his arsehole too much. Or maybe it was just an unfortunate accident. But he sprayed out all of his shit when he hit it. He then fell into the pool in the area of his diarrhea shit. Friend who owns the pool yells, what the fuck, and runs over. He picks up the pool cleaner net and starts trying to fish the shit out, but it's pure liquid so he starts hitting the shitty friend on the head with it. Shitty friend gets out of the pool, gets a shit-eating grin, and starts walking towards us like that hallway scene from Paranormal Activity 4, shouting, give me a hug. We locked him outside until he passed out. The pool was ruined. Played truth or dare with my friends in high school. I was dared to go around my apartment building selling underwear. One guy opened the door and was actually genuinely interested in buying a 16-year-old girl's underwear until his wife came out and started yelling at him. Me and my friends quickly left, but I'm pretty sure I caused a huge fight between them. Oh my. I've had this one for a long time. When I was much younger we had my younger cousin over. She came from a very bad home but state never would do anything. Anyways, I think she was 6-7 at the time. My sister, her and myself decided to play truth or dare. Sister dared my cousin to eat some cat food. Seems gross enough and being young. Hey, that's funny. She picks some up and eats it without flinching a moment. We blindly stare in AWW what she did. What came next shocked us. My sister asked her how she ate it so easily. Oh, well, that is what we eat at home a lot. Yep, my uncle was starving his children to the point they were eating cat food to survive. Being young we never said anything to anyone about it, a regret we have to this day. How is your cousin doing now? Well, let me tell you, not well. My uncle moved them all to a small town, 2 daughters, the younger one older sister. The older sister was hooked on meth and who knows what by the time she was 12. I think she was 18 when she had a kid but died in his crib because she was off getting high. Didn't get charged somehow. The younger one had a kid at 15. The kid was abandoned and is being raised by my uncle. Second kid a few years later. Not sure how he is doing, haven't spoken to them in years. I can go on and on about stories about this side of my family. Go in my post history, I wrote how my uncle was having my grandma transport drugs for him. She didn't know it at the time. Or the time he raped a 14-year-old. Oh, how about the time he beat me cause I got sick? Or the time he beat his GF so hard she miscarried? Yeah. Way back in high school, a girl was dared to go up behind the boy she fancied and put a jumper over his head. She did, but he turned his head instinctively, so ended up with his face buried in her tits. Great tits, Sarah, he exclaimed without thinking. Win for him, but I've never seen a girl genuinely look like a tomato before. Reminds me of a party where I was fooling around with a girl, trying to gaffer tape each other, and 2 guy friends ran up and gaffer taped us firmly and tightly together. Best wingman ever. When I was in 10th grade, I was invited to a small party of just my girlfriends and just one guy. All these girls had a crush on the one guy and told me that they wanted to play truth or dare, and my job was to make sure he was to kiss them or whatever at all times. Well, he caught on and would only say truth, so they asked him out of all us girls who he was willing to fuck, and he said me. Turns out he was gay and said me because he knew I wasn't trying to be rappy. I was very unpopular that night after he left. Unpopular amongst a group of people who were giving off rappy vibes. That makes you a super upstanding citizen. Just after I turned 21, I had a housewarming party and invited a bunch of people. Some I knew well, others not so much. All drinking. Up next was a guy that I was peripheral friends with, but didn't know that well, and he chose dare. The darer was a bit of a dick, and likewise dared said peripheral friend to slap me in the face with his penis. We got him back by me doing the same to the original darer, and that started a friendship that has resulted in being each other's best man and godparents to children. Best case scenario for getting a dick slapped to the face I can think of, honestly. It was at a girl's birthday party, super conservative religious parents. She had been talking for weeks about how she got a tattoo without her parents' knowledge on her butt, and was dared to prove it to us, her skeptical friends. She agreed by bending over the car table we were at so everything waist down was out of view, dropping her pants, and told me to come confirm. I was standing behind this girl with her pants around her knees, bent over a table while the other people were laughing and cheering, when her mother came downstairs and opened the door and saw this. Well, did she have a tattoo or not? Yes, and I believe she came up with a much worse explanation than the truth, so her parents never found out. The fuck was the explanation? Look, mom. We were playing truth or dare and I was dared to sit on a cup for an entire round. My butt got suctioned to the cup and it felt like I had a blood blister. Dave's obsessed with medicine. He's going to med school, so I had him check to see if it's bad. Luckily it's just a ring, but I've decided to alternate cheeks to honor the dare whilst not causing permanent damage to my butt. Also, Dave said that you did a good job making me healthiest butt he's seen all week. All my friends got dared to play spin the bottle, so they all started a game. One of them had the beginnings of a herpes cold sore and they all got terribly sick and came out of it with oral herpes. 7 people was playing truth or dares and got dared to lick the bare inner thigh of a girl I liked. Just as I was about to do it, she went pale and ran away to the toilets to throw up for a few minutes. I was pretty gutted until somebody pointed out that a couple of minutes before she had been dared to eat a daffodil. We thought she'd eat a couple petals or something, but she was a trooper. Ate the whole head in one bite, then took lots of little bites along the stem, like nom 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 nom, 2 mouthfuls, and the whole thing was gone. The next day somebody was telling their parents about it and they informed us that daffodils are poisonous and if she hadn't thrown up she might have had to go to hospital. Still pretty gutted I never got to lick her leg, and anything else that might have led to, but at least the prospect of that wasn't what caused the vomiting. Myself included, the party was 3 guys and 3 girls. When the game started getting steamier and we had taken most of our clothes off, a guy asked one of the girls, and she chose dare. I dare you to make out with me in the bedroom, along with the other 2 girls. They went with him. The other guy and I spent the next hour playing Soul Calibur in our underwear. X asked me what's the nastiest thing I have done sexually. She clearly expected me to ask her back and impress me with some story she had in mind. We never got to that point. I'm a nasty dude and she didn't want to play after I answered. Edit. I am 0% ashamed that this and my comment below telling the story are my top comments ever. So are you gonna tell us the nastiest thing you've done or what? Quite NSFW, but the gist is we sneaked out of a Halloween party to screw around in the car. Her on top and she liked that I played with her ass. We got more intense to the point that it was my whole fist inside her. After a while I felt that it became too easy to fist her. Too much lubrication. But we were too excited to stop. I become a little concerned. Take my hand out and realized I hurt her a bit because my hand was covered in blood. I bring my hand up to show her and tell her, but she begins sucking my fingers before I can say anything. After we finish I try to explain it again. She was a bit scared but said it didn't hurt her. Unfortunately one of her legs was pretty bloody as well and she was wearing a short skirt, so we couldn't walk into the party again and had no way of entering a restroom to clean the blood out. So I'll lick her legs clean and she cleans my hand clean. This turns her on, so we have one last go before returning to the party. Edit. A lot of people think this was a random encounter. I was in a relationship with this girl. I don't know if that makes the story better or worse. What does make it better in my opinion is that she was a girl next door type of hottie. My friends and I used to play Truth or Dare at the hospital. For reference, we were in our late teens. Old enough so we couldn't do this stuff at home with our parents in the next room, but not old enough to hang out at bars. So we chose the hospital parking lot, because it was a big place where people left us alone. We'd play this game in our parked car. Yes, it's all very weird, but puts the story in perspective. One cold and miserable winter night, a guy in our group was dared to exit the vehicle naked and run a single lap around the car. He was pretty crazy, so this was no big deal. The guy, let's call him Herman, stripped down and jumped out of the car, ran a lap, and then tried to open the door again. But for some reason, this triggered the car alarm, with the rest of us sitting inside. Instead of climbing back in, Herman decided to run into a little area near the main building, crouching down near one of those cages that holds the gas meters and electrical equipment. It looked like the opening scene of the Terminator. While Herman hid between the cage and some bushes, a security guard came out of nowhere and walked toward the car. By this time, the alarm had stopped. He stared at our car from a distance, saw nobody near it, and somehow didn't notice us sitting inside. Turned around and left. As soon as the guard vanished, Herman came sprinting back to the vehicle across the icy parking lot, and was spotted by someone else who began yelling. He jumped back in and we sped off. That was our last night hanging out at the hospital. Friend's living room, 9 PM, 40 minutes and everybody drunk or half drunk. I started the fire by daring a girl to go topless and dance. 10 minutes later shit got real and can't exactly remember what was the exact dare or who invented it, but like 2 seconds after dare was starting my friend's mom opened the door just in time to see 2 topless dudes, 1 topless girl, 1 empty bottle of vodka, just opened bottle of wine and 1 girl about to lick another girl's ass. We were all 16. Edit. This kinda blew up, haha. So kids, it's not like in porn, sadly. Friend's mom yelled us all out of the house and called our parents. I had a long talk with my mom and dad about how we all were young and stupid. I think one of the girls was grounded for a year though. Playing Truth or Dare Jenga. Pull the block saying kiss the person on your left. I place a sweet gentle kiss on the girl to my left cheek. She blushes. Fast forward 11 years. I am single and she has half my shit. got dared to run around the block naked. It wasn't nice but might have been close. I'm running. I took the half block option because well I'm chubby fuck and therefore less running. So I do the main street portion of the run, few honks all as well. The backstretch runs along a park on one side, church on the other. There's a guy running from the park and at first I think oh poor little white guy running from the big black naked guy, what a fucked up evening for him. Then I glanced over at the church and see fire in the windows and realize he's running from the fire he started and give chase. My friend's waiting outside our apartment complex with a robe and a shot, see random stranger run by, then me in full on naked chase mode yelling call the cops and the fire department. So I gained a bit on that guy, but like a block down I realized we just called the cops and the fire department. The fire department is an alley away from us and I'm naked black guy running through the neighborhood. I need some clothes. Turn back and make it to my friends and a robe just in time for the cops to roll up. Fire department showed, came over a few minutes later. Fire was in Christmas tree in the park. My drunk ass saw the reflection in the church windows. Cops had also got a call about streakers but didn't mention it till they left. Truth or dare resulted in a mild orgy in my apartment at Halloween 3 years ago. I went into my room to use the bathroom, left after making out with some people and everyone had their clothes on. Came back out maybe 10 minutes or so later, drunk peeing as hard, and some people have vanished. Roommate had a threesome. 2 people banged openly on the floor, other people just making out and dry humping all over the damn place. I went to bed. A bunch of friends and I, including my brother and his then girlfriend, were playing truth or dare extremely drunk at about 4 AM. It's his girlfriend's turn now and she quickly picks truth. No one can think of anything to ask her because we didn't really know her, so my friend says just tell us something juicy. To which she responds, looks at my brother and says, I don't think Justin goes down on me enough. He never returns the favor. Justin is my brother. My brother was so caught off guard and embarrassed with what she said, but it was fucking hilarious. We all shamed him after she said that, but the next time we all hung out again, about a month later, we asked her if he had shaped up and she said that he'd been doing a much better job. She really took advantage of that damn situation. In 7th grade I was playing my then girlfriend's house for her birthday. My GF and I were then dared, remember if it landed on me or her, to take a condom and go into the closets to celebrate her birthday. It was uncomfortable and really weird, lasted about 5 minutes. Gone wrong because it's not how I really wanted to lose my virginity, at a party with a bunch of people waiting for me to come back out, and I learned that not all sex is good. Sometimes it's pretty bad, especially when you have no idea what you're doing. One of my old college roommates, let's call him A, had a huge crush on a girl who lived down the hall from us in college. One night she asks him if he would like to join their game of truth or dare, and tells him to invite his friend M because her roommate has a crush on M, so he agrees, and says he just needs to change and then he'll grab M and head over. Once she leaves he starts freaking out. He's head over heels at the opportunity to maybe kiss her. He runs around our dorm room telling all of us how excited he is. Now A has always been a super weird guy. Just socially awkward to the max, so all of us are excited for him, trying to get him to play it cool. He was shaking like a chihuahua, he was so excited. Anyway, he changes, literally gives himself the finger guns and a pep talk in the mirror, and heads out to meet his destiny. The next morning we all discover A hasn't come back from her dorm yet, so naturally we're all sitting around feeling proud of him. About an hour later he strolls and grinning from ear to ear, and wearing her clothes. He walks up to us and goes, guys, I kissed her, and we all high five and congratulate him. So we ask for the details and he says it was a little fuzzy because they all got really drunk. Now this in itself was amazing because A does not drink. Like at all. So we all give him a second round of boys for finally getting drunk. So he says the following sentence super casually like it's not a big deal. Yeah, so she dared me to make out with M for like 5 minutes and then she'd kiss me. So obviously M and I made out and then she gave me a peck on the cheek. What? So obviously we're all hysterically laughing at this point and just yelling about his totally not equivalent exchange, and he gets defensive and says it doesn't matter because he really likes her and is going to ask her out. So he goes to his bedroom to take a nap. As we all laugh about his night in the common room, we hear a knock at the door. It was the girl from down the hall. She proceeds to tell us the real story of the night, which was that she really did dare him to make out with M for 5 minutes in exchange for a kiss, and they really did make out. She did kiss him on the cheek, and he promptly got so excited he stood up from the floor they were all sitting on, and tried to take a victory lap. Unfortunately he was much more drunk than he thought, and standing up so fast made him dizzy and nauseous. So he tried to run out of her dorm and back to our dorm so she wouldn't see him throw up. Unfortunately our dorm room door was locked and he couldn't remember the code to get in. So he stood in the hallway, absolutely hammered, and turned his shirt into a little bucket by holding up the end, and puked into it. Then he carried his puke shirt back into her apartment, and promptly dropped his shirt holding his curdled load onto her floor. She made him change, and sent him back the next day in her clothes, while she spent the whole night cleaning his mess. He was so drunk he doesn't remember, while she wants absolutely nothing to do with him. We all felt bad, but definitely laughed so hard we cried. We were playing Truth or Dare in college at a friend's apartment at a party. In the Truth or Dare room it was made clear that no one is in a relationship in here. The one couple was cool with it because they were swinging well like that. I was dared to kiss the guy's girlfriend. It was a really good kiss, the best first kiss I ever had with a person. Usually, the first kiss is alright and you work on it with the other person to make it better, but our lips and techniques matched up perfectly the first time and the kiss went on way longer than it should have for a game. Anyways, she dumped him like a week later because she said that kiss made her realize she wanted to be with other people. Back in college, bunch of us got together and played. Much liquor was involved. One guy dared the other fart in the face of another. Well, it is not easy to fart on command, so the guy is there trying to fart. Well, after much pushing and stomach squeezing, he said okay, going to fart. Bent over, pointed his ass at the other guy's face, and sharted all over his face and head. Like not a log, but a freaking sprinkler of shit. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.